So we're speaking about the Iranian seizure of a British flagged oil tanker yesterday, and this is a grave development to the file of Iran and its animosity towards not just right now the Arab world, but also the West, who were trying to negotiate the Iranian nuclear file. How do you view such a development?
Well, the development is very significant because the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is present in the Strait of Hormuz, and all the Western powers know it. And it happened a few years ago when they seized a U.S. military boat and took prisoners their staff members. And it happened also the British one at the time of Tony Blair's prime ministry. So I think that the Iranians are using this card all the time. It's usual tactics when they have a confrontation with the West. They use this card by taking some vessels into their shores, starting investigation. But this time it's different because this time there is a tanker, an Iranian tanker that was seized in Gibraltar by the British. So now the confrontation is very tight between England and Iran. I think that the Iranians know very well that any escalation would not be in their interest now, as they have no friends in this region now, whether in the Gulf states or any parts of Asia, except, of course, the good relations they have with Russia. But let's not forget that President Vladimir Putin told the Iranians once that the day there will be a confrontation, no one will remember that the United States is the one who started leaving the nuclear deal, but you, the Iranians, who did it. So everyone will blame you. So they have to understand that this card is used now as a traditional tactical card, but at a certain time, if any harm will happen, all the region will be against Iran and blame them. And that's why I think that they had two tankers. They liberated one and they kept the other. And they're still taking hostages 23 members. This is not a military vessel, it's a tanker, it's commercial. So that's very great because in the past it was military vessels from England or from the UK or from the United States. Now these vessels are commercial. It's the freedom of trade. So why they are keeping them? There are 23 members aboard and they have no clue why they are on the Iranian shores. But today, the Foreign Ministry of England said that we are not searching in any military options, and we hope that it will be resolved diplomatically.
Yes. If we speak about Iran, then we are speaking about different dimensions, because, of course, this incident is a tit-for-tat action because of the British seizure of the Iranian Grace 1 tanker before. So we're speaking about a tit-for-tat action, and as you said respectively, that it is a commercial issue. Hopefully it would remain commercial, but also it was preceded by the downing of the US to an Iranian unmanned plane, and also preceded by the sanctions that are put by the US on Iran because of the nuclear file, and the retreat of the US from the 5+1 pact that was signed by the 5 European countries plus Russia before. And all that reflects on the Middle East at large, since we're speaking about a third dimension that would be that I will be speaking about. But now, how do you view such a world power issue on or on the territories, or rather on the naval area or in the maritime of the Middle East, and how this reflects on the Middle East?
Look, as you just mentioned now, the question of the drone, for example. Let me take this example. The Americans said that we have downed an unmanned plane, Iranian plane, which is a drone. So the response of Iran was very, very weird. They insisted that it was not downed, and they broadcasted a video of their drone taking pictures of U.S. military vessels, not in the Iranian territorial sovereignty. So that means that Iran is giving the proof to the world that they are violating the international law by having their drones outside the territorial waters, and taking also pictures and data about foreign military vessels. So this is, according to international law, it's a grave violation. The second point is that the whole region is very volatile now. We heard that yesterday King Salman of Saudi Arabia accepted that the U.S. could send foreign forces, and this is the first time since the Gulf War, the 1990 Gulf War of Iraq and Kuwait, and this means that King Salman, when he took this decision, he knows very well that there is disturbing info in the region, and I think that the Iranians are gambling and think that Russia would at a certain time take their defense. Well, the Russians, they know how to differentiate things. They're working on Syria with the Iranians, yes, but that does not mean they will follow the leadership of the Ayatollahs in Iran in every step they will do. These are allies in a certain conflict, but not in all the time, because Russia has excellent relations with the Gulf states, has excellent relations with Egypt, Egypt is the guarantor of the security of the Arab countries. So I don't think that he will, and he has excellent relations with the United States also. So he won't put or jeopardize all these relations for the tactics of the Iranians in the Strait of Hormuz. Let's mention also that they are gambling that when the oil will be stopped from shipment, at this time the prices will jump and there will be economic collapse. Maybe they're thinking about that in the Arab countries. Well, this is very dangerous, because when the Western powers will feel that the Iranians are touching this important resource, they will not keep silent. So I think that all what is taking place is a way made by the Ayatollahs and the Iranians to force the West to sit on a table and discuss a new deal. They want to say, we are here, do not forget us, because we can change the game in the region. Well, this has a price, and I don't think that, I think that President Trump doesn't want a military confrontation with the Iranians now. I think that the Gulf states also don't wish to see a regional war, but the Iranians are pushing things too far.
Exactly, and this is my coming question here. Iranians are pushing things hard. And we're speaking about their interference in the domestic affairs of the Arab world in a tremendous way, in a way that is really or in a way that is really angering or outraging the Arab world in how to respond. In fact, nobody wants an escalation or a military confrontation, because definitely that would rage a third world war, actually. But actually the response of the international community to how Iran is interfering in domestic affairs is not even discussed. They are discussing the nuclear file. They are discussing the Iranian response to their interests, but nothing to put some pressures on Iran to stop its interference in the Middle East. So how do you view the developments also in that domain?
Look, the Iranians usually, when we study Iran after the 1979 revolution till now, they have two geopolitical tactics. First of all, harassing other countries by taking hostages, by taking vessels in their territories, and the second tactic is that they usually do not launch a confrontation inside their territory. It's always outside. So as you said, it's always intervention. It's whether in Yemen, whether in Syria, whether in Iraq, whether in Bahrain, even trying to harass the Emirates, or now inside the territories of Saudi Arabia. It's always outside. They don't have, the Iranians don't have this in mind in their geopolitical calculations to have a confrontation inside Iran. So it's always outside. They are, as you said, no one wants escalation, and exactly this is what they are playing on. They're playing on this tune that they know no one wants an escalation, so why not take some steps that will harass other countries. They know very well that they are in the position of accusation. They know very well that they had some troubles inside Iran for the economic sanctions, and the people are fed up of this regime. But at the end of the story, they know very well that the escalation has a red line. And as you said, no one is taking, and for example, when the drones, the Iranian drones targeted the pipelines inside Saudi Arabia, the international community didn't really take any steps against Iran. So they're calculating that no one will act against them. They know very well that everyone has an interest of calm, the interest of having a new deal, a nuclear deal with them. But let's not forget that their intervention in Yemen or in Syria or in Iraq has to end, and no one will let it go like that.
Yes. Remains to be seen how developments will unfold. Dr. Cherif Amir, Professor of Political Science, thank you very much for joining us over the phone.